We are in Shaar Aleph Perek Tes Zayin, and to remind you, the last thing that we learned was the medrash that the Nefesh Hachaim brought. Shmois Rabba Parsha Mem Aleph, Yashem Yitein Chachma Mipiv Das Utzvuna. There's a difference between Hashem Yitein Chachma, but Mipiv Das Utzvuna. And he brought the medrash brings a mashal. Ama davar doima lemelech shehaya lo bein, kol b'noi mibeis hasefer matzah tamchlei lifnei aviv, natal aviv chaticha achas and son aloi. Father takes to his little son sitting on his lap. He takes a piece of food from the plate, the serving plate, and gives it to the na-mein kind Amrloi, and the child says, "Ein mevakesh elamashi b'toich picha." I only want straight out of your mouth. So the medrash is explaining the pasuk, Hashem Yitein Chachma Mipiv Das Utzvuna. So to synopsize and summarize what we said is that, and we learned together the Hakdama of Reb Chaim Volozhin to the Sefer Tzniusa with the Pirush Hagra, if you recall. So that's what we learned together. The chiluk between Mipiv Das Utzvuna, Hashem Yitein Chachma. So Hashem Yitein Chachma, just to put it in my words, Hashem Yitein Chachma refers to the cheftza, if you will, of Chachma that Hashem puts in front of us. A tamchlei. He handed us down the Torah on a silver platter, and here you have the Chachma. Take, right? Take my Chachma. Now, understanding that, so we have Torah, beautiful, you have Torah. And the truth is, anybody can get this Torah. So it's accessible to everybody. But then there's another madrega here, and that's the madrega of understanding it, and not just understanding it because you have a high IQ and you're able to understand things, but there's the, as I put it, there's the people that get it. There's the Mipiv Das Utzvuna is to understand it and to have that extra little piece that some people have. Now the Gemara says, "Aloshin l'ukme milsa siyata d'shmaya." Ukme milsa siyata d'shmaya, which Rashi says means remembering it, but Tosfos says the Gemara Megillah. But Tosfos says l'ukme milsa siyata d'shmaya. Let me remind you the Gemara. Yagato matzasa, taimen. Yagato v'loy matzasa, al taimen. L'ukme milsa siyata d'shmaya. So Rashi says, but to remember what you found, that's already siyata d'shmaya, which is very, very true. But there's another thing also, l'ukme milsa. L'ukme milsa is to be able to get it, to be able to get two people are looking at the same material and the same Dvar Chachma, and one is understanding it in a whole different way than the other. And it's not just intellect, there's something more. So what the Nefesh Hachaim calls this is the Nitzaitzais of the Neshama. It's not the Neshama, in other words, the Kadosh Baruch Hu's in the Torah, right? So Yisrael ve'araisav v'kutchabrichu chad. And then there's the Nitzaitzis of the Neshama, which give us that extra piece. Ubishpata ba'yadom, and for instance, if you don't have this Neshama, Goyim will never understand it in the same way. They could be mafalpula like a professor, but they won't understand it in the same way. There's a certain siyata d'shmaya, so we should be zocheh to that so that we can understand that better. But there's such a thing as understanding something deeper. I mean, the mashal I gave, l'ukme milsa siyata d'shmaya, is that sometimes you're thinking about something and trying to understand an inyan of Torah, and then all of a sudden, like boom, it pops into your head, but it's got nothing to do with what you were thinking about. so you can say that what you were thinking about was like preparing the ground for the Nitzaitzis and the Neshama to come in. Now when it comes in like a blitz. I think probably everybody's had this experience. Whoa, chap. So what's a chap? Where does that chap come from? So that comes from the Nitzaitzis on Neshama. It might be true, that might happen also in the world of science and in the world of math. Honestly, I never tried. Never sat and tried to. Music probably also. That also has to do with the Neshama. All of a sudden there's a chap. I'm also thinking, I don't know if this is the same or not, but I'm just trying to wrap my mind around the Nitzaitzei HaNeshama. that this is something I feel very deeply and strongly, that over the years, a lot of years already, I'd say 40 years. So for many of those years, I was osek in Kiruv. Baruch Hashem, like a lot of Baalei Tshuva, like a lot. Maybe, I don't want to exaggerate it, maybe a couple hundred Baalei Tshuva. That's like an example. People talk about thousands. I don't have thousands, but maybe a couple hundred Baalei Tshuva. To be perfectly honest about it, I don't think that personally I was ever actually made anybody into a Baal Tshuva. I don't think that it's actually I don't think it's a real thing. What happens is that Me'ez Asivus Shatiya, somebody comes along and is looking for some kind of chachma, looking for some kind of, maybe you can inspire somebody sometimes, but ultimately a person's making themselves into a Baal Tshuva. You're there to facilitate. That's all. It's not you have in the Kiruv, in the sort of more like Wolfson world, that I was Makar of him. No, I was Makar of him. I don't know anybody's Makar of anybody. It's who knows if it's maybe it's chosavos, that a person tends to be in the same elevator with you or whatever. And then you're there. But the fact is, people go on their own. If anything, the job was always to chill. Take it easy. Don't go overboard. You don't have to go so fast. That was the job, like trying to make people not from. It was mostly the job. But it's the same thing. Like where does it actually come from? The Sisairis for tshuva. Where does it actually come from? And I think it comes from the neshama. I think that's the neshama. But it's not atzmusa yisparach Nefesh Hachaim. It's the neshama. By the way, you don't have to be loud for to have this. If you're from Rabbi Haber, all of a sudden you can have Hisairis and realize that's the Baal Tanya says about this, that kind of Isarusa de La'ela, which comes to every person who has a neshama. He's of course learning different shot in the neshama, but the same idea. So that has to be concretized very, very quickly, otherwise it'll leave as fast as it came. So maybe that's the job, the facilitator of those nitzaitzis on the Shabbat. But the nitzaitzis are the nitzaitzis. There's like this mitzias in the world, and that also has to do with Havanas HaTorah, and it has to do with the Seiris of Tshuva, and it has to do with really everything spiritual. Sometimes you're davening, and then something comes to mind. Sometimes you're working with your children, something comes out like kachaza. You say music, which is the only place where I hear that such a phenomenon exists, because obviously music is some sefer says that the pshat in Shiur, the lashon of Shiur, is shiorei haneshama. It's the spillover of the neshama, which is why you don't want to hear music from mushchas, because who wants to get the spillover of his neshama into my brain? But music is I just learned this morning at davening, the Rambam and Shemona Bracha, I'm talking about music during the spirit, that music, says the Rambam, if a person has Marash Chayra, so somehow he should listen to music, says the Rambam, because somehow the music does something with your neshama, and it gives it a menucha. It gives it a menucha. There's some kind of a kasher there. So yeah, it might be true in the sciences, and it might be true in the maths, it might be true in other things also. I don't know, but I just don't know. I don't have that experience. I don't know what a bicycle, but it's certainly true in Torah. It's certainly true in Torah.
No, classical music was not chosen. It's fine.
Yeah. How do you know they're Mushasim? Yeah, but they're not songs about hashchas.
Have to do with words or with
Or
music?
about Christianity. It's a sugya. It's a sugya. Classical music is a sugya. But after my shir this morning, so Hoshander told me that it was a Davar Yadua, that Rabbi Yaacov Weinberg, Kehillat Shivtei Yeshurun, is to prepare his shir klali with classical music blasting in the background. He says the only way he can. That's the only way he can do it. That's the. I don't have that experience. It gives me a headache. But it's I know that not so intellectual, I guess. But it's that's a sugya.
Some of the Hasidus they took on some of the
Yeah,
communities.
yeah, music. But, okay. So mipiv, that's that. So Hashem yitain chachma, it's out there. Over mipiv is das utfuna, the das, the tfuna, those things. Atachoinen ladam das, lamed lana shbina. So those are things that they're like a chap, like a blitz that can come to a person, and that's mipiv. So the son says that I don't want what's on the plate. That's not good enough for me. I want the I want mipiv das usuna. And here, let's just begin the Haggadah, new today. Perik Tezayin, the Haggadah, the note of Reb Chaim Volozhin. The Alpizet, again, the aside is that all of this is based on the fact that we don't have the neshama gufa inside of us, we just have the netzotzei neshama, and what its ramifications might be. Alpizet yaskil hama'ayin lahavin alpi pashut inyan hanisker b'zoyhar. We have now a simple derech to understand that which is written in the Zohar, Parashas Achrei, this week's Parsha, right? Ayin Gimel Amid Aleph, the Kuchabrichu v'Iraisa v'Yisrael miskashrin da b'da. So we all know the niggun, Yisrael v'Iraisa, right? Kuchabrichu chadhu. That's not what the lashon of the Zohar is in this parsha. Is Yis Kuchabrichu v'Iraisa at the Torah of the Yisrael biskashrin da b'da. A little bit different than saying chadhu. Biskashrin da b'da. They're all intertwined. Vadai oive kavanose l'soides abukim. Okay, it's hard to understand the Zohar. It's a niggun, so we don't find it so hard. But it's really a hard thing to understand. What does that mean? Yisrael. Let's leave even the Torah out for a second. Yisrael v'Iraisa v'Kuchabrichu chadhu, or biskashrin da b'da. So chadhu sounds more like the Balatanya. Biskashrin da b'da because we're connected. So it sounds a little bit more like the Nefesh Hachaim. All right about that? So, but that's what I looked up the Zohar. That's what it says. Biskashrin da b'da. Kol ze yesh lahasber idi gam b'pashtus. We could explain this simply. Not so simple, but he's going to explain it simply. But Indian, here's the simple shot. Ki kudsha brichu, everybody has it here? Ki kudsha brichu sasim begalia. So Zohar in Parshas Emor that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is sasim begalia. Let me tell you the context there. The context of that Zohar is that you have the Shem Hashem Yud Kei Vav Kei. And you know, Jews being strange as they are, they see Yud Kei Vav Kei and they read it Adonai. So it's like a ksiv and a kri. It's the ultimate ksiv kri. You know, like Kavosha Andi Dichtav Andi Mikra. Gemara says that the way it's said, the way it's written, is not the way it's pronounced. Not even close. Yud Kei Vav Kei and Adonai. So this is the din and the Haggadah of all Yisrael. And that's called Sasim. The Zohar calls that the Shem Hashem is Sasim Vigalia. That it's Sasim, Yud Kei Vav Kei means it's Sasim, that's what's hidden. And Galia, what's revealed, is the Adnai, Aleph Daled Nun Yud. So, what's the Pshitus Hadvarim? That I say it, but what I'm saying it is just one little aspect of what it really is. I'm not touching the essence of it. The essence of it is Yud Kei Vav Kei. But the way that it's articulated in this world is Aleph Daled Nun Yud. Interesting thing. Ahoyga Hashem Bois Yosef, the Gemara says, the Gemara says in Sanhedrin that if you pronounce Yud Kei Vav Kei, Eloi Chelek Le'olam Haba. You're not allowed to pronounce Yud Kei Vav Kei. Not because necessarily that it's the Shem HaMefarish, because we have no kesher with that. It's a world that we have no kesher with, Yud Kei Vav Kei. So pronouncing it is bringing something into this world which is really not in this world. Adonai, that's in this world. He's our master. Yud Kei Vav Kei, what does that even mean? Hoya, yeah, okay, we have things, but what does it really mean? We don't even know what it means, right? Elohim, we know what it means. We could say that. Yud Kei Vav Kei, what are you saying something? So the pshat in not saying the Shema B'Farish B'chlal, the Rambam says, by the way, that is the Shema B'Farish, but the pshat in not saying the Shema B'Farish B'chlal is because what we say brings something into this world, and when you bring it into this world, what doesn't belong in this world. So there's a manifestation. Manifestation is Adonai. That's what the Zohar calls, you can memorize this, Kuchabrichu Sasim Begalia. Kohen Gadol, Kohen Gadol, the Beis Hamikdash. Maybe a machlekes, the Rambam, because he holds the Shem Mefarish is different. The Pashut of Pshat is that the Kohen Gadol on Yom Kippur would say the Shem Kisha Hayotzei Mipi, right? Shem HaKadosh. That was the time that it was said. It was Kriya, Ishtachava, because it was otherworldly at that moment. But I think every Yom Kippur that we describe that, right? When we describe it, we say that the Kohen Gadol, the whole Klal Yisrael was mispalel that he should be lichlas v'shalom, yotzei v'shalom. He should go in with shalom and come out with shalom. So the Pashut Pshat is like he shouldn't drop that in the middle of the avoda, but he's entering into like a different world, and he should be yotzei b'shalom. He should be yotzei shalom. This is my thought that shalom is the most down to earth name of Hashem. Shalom Aleichem.
Hashem we see in the Pardes, right?
Yeah. So yeah, 1 second. So lichlas b'shalom v'yotzei b'shalom is that you're entering the Kohen Gadol as our shaliach is entering a different world, Laban Klal Yisrael, which is allowed to do only in Parshas Achar Bois. That's why it's here. Only in Parshas Achar Bois, only on Yom Kippur, and we could enter a little bit into that world on Yom Kippur also. And we're mispalel. It should be lichlas b'shalom v'yotzei b'shalom, meaning he should come back into this world. The idea is to come back into this world where we have some Havana. Don't stay there, because HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't need more malachim. If he wanted more malachim, he would have made us malachim, to stay there. Hang out, I like it in here, in the Kodesh Kadosh. Don't stay in the Kodesh Kadosh. The idea is to be lichlas b'shalom, be yotzei b'shalom, and then come back down to earth. It's like sending a spaceship up to the who knows where, and it doesn't come back. So what's the point? That's right. It's a Rashi. So Gil says also we find the same lashon by Arba Nichnasu L'Pardes, and right Ben Zoyma, Ben Azai, Acher, Elisha Ben Avoy, and Rabbi Kiva. So they all got hurt. But Acher lost his whole religion, and Ben Zoyma went crazy, and Ben Azai hitzitz v'meis, and Rabbi Kiva lichlas b'shalom v'yatsa b'shalom, because Rabbi Kiva, the whole idea of Rabbi Kiva was very, very real, even biographically, was to bring everything down to earth. That's what he did. That's what Rabbi Kiva did. The Torah Shabbat Peh for us. So lichlas b'shalom v'yatsa. He also went into the Pardes, but he came back. The idea is to come back, or Ben Azai got stuck there. So it's a lower madrega. So that's the Sasim Begalia. Ki atzmus, so Rav Chaim explains, Ki atzmus adoin kol ein soif baruch hu ele musai. When we're talking about the atzmus shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu back to his shita, it's not something we can comprehend. B'leis machshava tzvisa bei klal. There's no understanding. Mashemusag lanu ba'at b'naba'at. So what do we understand about HaKadosh Baruch Hu? Hurak mitzad hischabrusai l'haylabais me'esh shibra v'chidsha. We can understand, what we can understand, we should understand, is the hiskashrus, or the hischabrus, or the connectivity between the world that we live in and higher worlds. It's connected. So the most we can do is not understand HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Nobody understands it. We can't picture HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We can't do anything like that. What we can understand, we could say, as he's going to say later, Baruch Chei Ha'olamim. Baruch Chei Ha'olamim. Chei Ha'olam means he gives chiyus to the olam. That's what we can understand. It's clear to me, by the way, that the Bolim and even Hasidim want to understand more than that. They're working towards the atzvus of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And Reb Chaim Volozhin saying, Leis machshava tfisa beit. That's a chazal. What are you going to do with leis machshava tfisa beit? The most you can do in terms of tfisa is his chabrusa lohaylamais be'esha bra v'chitsha. La'achyoisam u'lakaibam koregel aligam. The HaKadosh Baruch Hu is constantly sustaining and maintaining the world. K'mashikasu v'atom mechaya es kulam. L'chein v'ishtabchu yisbarach v'tfilasedu shehu chei oilamim or chai oilamim. That's what chai oilamim means. Ki kol kavana sleipenu b'chol atfilos v'apakoshos. Whenever we are davening, our kavana is aser liyais rak liyachidai sho'olam w'einsai baruch Hu. We're davening only to Hashem, of course. Hashem, right? We're not davening to any kind of world or stars or moon or anything that gets b'chaya eskulam, people. However, loy mitzad atzmusa yisbarach levad, b'chidas hayosim mufrash b'ha'ilabais. We can't daven. We can't understand Hashem that we're davening to because He's separate from us. And lemitzad He's chabrusay. The best we can do is understand that He's chabrus to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. V'ritzoynei hapashut la'ilabais. V'hisasrei b'hem la'ach yosef. V'hisasrei b'hem la'ach yosef. Wow. Zel klal sharish yidin avodah b'mitzvahs kol. That's what mitzvahs are all about. It's a pretty big sentence, no? This is what avodah is all about. Zel levad kol asagasedo. This is all we can go. All we can do. So, is that a little bit disappointing? But the truth is that, I've asked this kasha, I've been walking around with this thing for years, that, we're told, Shivisi Hashem l'negdi sabid, and yet, leis machshava tfisa beit. So you're not allowed to even picture HaKadosh Baruch Hu, so why are we davening with the picture of HaKadosh Baruch Hu in front of us, so to speak, in our mind? Like, if you're not allowed to picture HaKadosh Baruch Hu, whatever you're going to think is the picture of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, not only are you out, but you've done an aveira by putting some kind of a picture to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So how do you daven Shivisi Hashem l'negdi sabid? So his answer is that you're mechaven to what we can understand in terms of tfisa. First of all, I'm saying you don't daven necessarily with your brain, you daven with your heart. But so your heart can maybe soar to that place. But what he's saying, as far as understanding goes, it's the hischabrus oilamais. It's the HaKadosh Baruch Hu's connection. This is where it hooks in to the world. Meaning, you're davening that there should be peace in the world. So you're davening that HaKadosh Baruch Hu should give back to the Netzitzis and the Sheba HaKloli into this world. There should be hashpah. If we personally could have hashpah and become Bali Tshuva, if we personally have hashpah and understand Aksoish better, so the world could also have hashpah and be more peaceful. So that's the hischabrus, let's call it the involvement of HaKadosh Baruch Hu in this world. Involvement, that's a good word. Talking about involvement, not talking about Hashem. Hashem's involved, and that's where we're holding. But this is tricky because you can't daven to anything that He's involved in, only to He who's involved with this world.
So it's not, you don't want us to tzaddik for bracha or us to daven. It's because we believe that they are connecting into that stream.
Maybe their tzaddik yisod olam is part of that connection. It's part of the chain of connection, because it could be that the way Hashem connects into this world is through tzaddikim also. Or it could be not.
I can think Ritzana HaPashut.
So that's obviously borrowed from the beginning of the Arizal, where he talks like the first words in the Arizal that Ritzonai HaPashut is to build the world. That he should dira b'tachtonim. So what does the Arizal mean? He doesn't quote the Arizal that I can see. What does Ritzonai HaPashut mean over there? That we can't Ritzonai HaPashut. When we talk about our Ritzonai HaPashut, it means that it requires no philosophy. You don't have to start darshaning like, why do I want this? It's natural to want something. So that's Ritzonai HaPashut. Just natural. Like, why do you want to live?
So what's
Right.
the hell?
Your buddy or your life. Let me think about it. Like it's nothing to think about. It's Ritzaydi HaPashut. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu's Ratzon HaPashut is that there should be a Dira B'Tachtai. That's Pashut. That's the Pshitus of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's what he wants.
So the whole phrase Hishabruso and then Lehaolamos. What's the Lam and Lehaolamos? How do you connect a little bit?
Ritzaydi HaPashut Lehaolamais. That HaKadosh Baruch Hu's Pashut Ratzon, Pashut Pshat in HaKadosh Baruch Hu is that he wants to create Eilavos. So his connection to the Eilavos. These are the hard words, by the way. He's Satroi by Hemlach Yosef, and he hides himself in it. So that's to be more of an enigma. What does that mean? Is he here? Or is he not there? But whatever it means, he's Satroi by Hemlach Yosef. So let me try for a minute. This was maskir to be the Zohar really is maskir to be the following problem. That we make brachas. That's a big part of davening. Is brachas. Baruch atah Hashem Elokeinu melech haolam. Asher kitshanu b'mitzvos, whatever. Sivan. So the problem that's always asked is that we're changing in the middle.
Yes.
Changing tenses in the middle. So Baruch atah Hashem. Like atah, if I say atah, means you're standing right in front of me. Noichach, Elokeinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvayso v'tzivanu is already third person. That he sanctifies us. So how do we go from you to he? This is a problem that Rishonim speak about in the tense of the bracha. Seems wrong. Baruch atah Hashem. Okay, Elokeinu melech haolam you could still work with, but shekidashta, my son, ato kidashta. Asher kitshanu is behelim. It's not b'noichach. It's a problem. So I just want to show you. Look in your WhatsApp here. David put the WhatsApp. There's the there's the Tshuvas HaRashba. Good place to start. And the Tshuvas HaRashba in Siman Nun Beis. Kehillat Siman Nun Beis. Tshuvas HaRashba. Oid Sha'alta Lava Niskan Nusach HaBracha Machse Nimsa U'Machse Nister. Exactly this question. Why is the Nusach of the Bracha half revealed and half hidden? That means Baruch Atah and Elokeinu melech haolam. Shuva. Da you should know sheyesh lebalei hachachma soy niska. Mekubalim have deep reasons. Ein lanu kan esek v'nistaris. This is the Tshuvas HaRashba. We're not doing this. Not like Kabbalah sefer. However, whenever he says he's not going to talk Kabbalah, only Digla, to me it sounds like it's Kabbalah. But it just shows there about Draga. But there is a revealed Toelas in the Nusach HaBracha, Ratzolaimer, Beniglo, Benister. Why? What's the revealed Pshat? Pashut Pshat. Lefisha Kvar Yadata, because as you know, Shnei Yisoides Yesh Aleim Nibna Hakol. There are two Yisoides that everything is built on. Ha'echad Ladash Shehu Yisbarach Mechuyev HaMetzias. First thing you have to know is that Hashem creates everything, and Hashem made everything in this world. V'shein Safik B'zeh Klal, when he says Yisoides means he's quoting the Rambam, by the way. Shein Safik B'zeh Klal, K'mashin Yisparim, Yisparseim, HaMoifes Alav Bir Rab. It's a known thing that HaKadosh Baruch Hu created everything. There's nothing in the world that's not created by Hashem. Nothing. There's no negative energy. There's no Satan. There's no armies. There's nothing that's not created by Hashem. He's the Mechuyev. If it's Metzias, it was created by Hashem. If it's Metzias, it's created by Hashem. Period. Akol Niyeh B'Dvar. Very good. V'Hasheni She'ena mitasa yisparach muskav. It says on the bottom it's supposed to say museges rather. She'ena mitasa yisparach museges ki masma yisparach levad. That nobody understands Hashem except for He Himself. There isn't yet a Malach that understands HaKadosh Baruch Hu. V'hu b'mtziusai nigla l'kol u'ba'amitas mahusai nister v'nela me'akol. So there's a Rashba. This was my connection to the Nefesh Hachaim. So there's two dinim. The din, there's one din of knowledge. And this is probably what the Nefesh Hachaim means by Yischabrus and Pshutai Ritzonei HaPashut. That it's a Metzias, and if it's a Metzias, we need to know Hashem created it. On the one hand, like Paro said, Mi Hashem. That's a good question, right? Mi Hashem. Like, the answer is we don't understand. So it's complicated to live this life. Mitzad Echad, we know everything comes from Hashem. Everything. Mitzad Sheni, Mi Hashem. It's Eina Museges Klal. So it says the Rashba, that's the pshat in the bracha. Mitzad Echad, well, how do you understand that? Baruch Atah Hashem means what?
He's manifest.
He's manifest. And Elokeinu Melech HaElav, he's out there. You say Hafuch, yeah? What's the Hafuch?
Baruch Atah Hashem, you can't be Masagit, but it's your, whatever you call Baruch, the way it's manifested is this world's looking.
I agree with you. Baruch Atah Hashem, that's out there. Elokeinu Melech HaElav.
Just going to
Oh, really?
Which item?
So look what he says. Ukadei likvayashtei hapinois ha'elu. In order to get these two corners in, benafshoy seinu kavah nusach ben nigla v'nistar. So baruch atah kimedaber mishu nimsa meforsam. Not like us. Baruch atah kimedaber mishu nimsa meforsam. Atah. I'm sitting right in front of you. Im shu medaber my panim al panim. Ukadei shalai tishabesh hamachshava shu yizbarach nimsa kamsiya Shaar nimsayim b'shachas bein mitziyusay l'mtziyasam kavo asher kichar likvay v'nafshi seinu sha'af al pisha meforsim hus mitziyusay nelam minister she'af shiladaber by rak minister baruch hu. So Atah, this according to the Rashba's pshat means you're right here, and Elokeinu Melech HaElam. Not like. That's what the Rashba says. Well, so the Kavanah, when you're having a bracha, that's the Kavanah according to the Rashba. You're supposed to have Baruch Atah Hashem, and that's as far as we go. We know you're right here and you've created everything in the world, but Elokeinu Melech HaElam. The other thing, the Mekubalim say opposite. That's what you're thinking. You have a Kabbalistic mind, or you heard my take. the Mekubalim learn that what you're really doing is you're traveling through the Olamais. So you have Atzilus, Bria, Yitzira, and Asiya. Baruch Atah, Baruch, you are the Mayan. Baruch, Bakari Baruch. Atah is in the world of Atzilus. Hashem, Elokeinu is already the name of Bria, right? Reishis bara Elokim as Hashemayim as Aretz. Hamotzi lecha min haaretz is right here in front of us. So the Mekubalim learned b'diuk hafuch, that it starts off in Shabayim our bracha, and what we're doing is working ourselves down to earth, which is interesting because it's a machlekes. So he says here at the beginning that the Balei HaChachma say niska, but he's going to say his pshat, but his pshat is exactly fakert from what the Mekubalim say.
So in what sense is Atah Atzilus? How does that stem?
Because it's Atah Kipshutai. It's not that you, this is Mekubalim say, not that you are together with anything, not that you created something. It's not about what you do. It's not about what you are. It's just Atah, just you. So you is a very, it's interesting. Like the Rashba takes is a very intimate thing. If I could say Atah, right? We don't say Baruch Hu. It's very close. In Yiddish, when you're talking to somebody like in your family, you say "du," which means you. When you're talking to somebody who's posh of a person, you say "ir," "was macht ihr." So "ir" is, I think in Slavokia they were backbit always to say to everybody "ir," like "was macht ihr." It's a higher level. So that's like Baruch to talk to everybody in third person. And by the way, like Scheidberg Zatzal talked to all of his Talmidim in third person. Bakvodo Amar. So he's the
French and German.
also, yeah. Only English, there's no common.
French is plural. French not that.
Plural, like the royal you.
That's right, but you still, if you don't
There's a
know how to
difference.
use food.
There's a difference. In English, there's no difference, I don't think, is there? Because you is you. Right. But I don't know, like when you talk to the President of the United States, do you say, what does the President hold, or do you say, what do you hold? I'm talking about this President, I'm just saying in general.
The previous one?
No, because this one is going to look, who are you talking about?
It says you say your excellence.
Your Excellency,
You say your honor.
Your Honor. Your Honor.
It's like a mix.
Yeah, okay. I'll call upon that we have here a machlekes between the Kabbalah. They're just like, you can have both kavanas at once, I find. So like one kavana is you're working up, and another kavana is you're working down. So it's a bechina of ratzei v'shoy. Nichnas b'shalom v'yatza b'shalom. You're going up, you're going down. So, but the going up is the Rashba's did. The Rashba was the Labdin. The Rashba's did is that I have this intimacy with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, mitzad echad. But as he says, Shalom Yishabesh, Kedei Shalom Tishabesh Habachshava. So now I'm going crazy. Hashem is sitting right in front of me. As I said, Alakenu Bella, going up. But if you're learning the worlds, it's kind of like going from down to up. If you're learning the worlds from coming up to down, so then you're doing it differently, and you're ending up with Hamoitzi Lechem in Aretz, right? So we have a clear machlekes: Atzilus, Bria, Yitzira, and Asiya. Aretz. Asher kitshanu b'mitzvaysav v'tzivanu. It druks a chayis in the parak tefillin, aniach tefillin. The mitzvah, you're bringing it down to. Okay, so
So we're going to the brachas of Shemona Esrei. We just say Bracha Hashem.
interesting, right?
So why don't we go further down?
So kabbalistically, because Shemona Esrei is Atzilus.
The whole.
Yeah, like if you look at one of these Kabbalah Sidurim, so it says that Psuki de Zimra is Brachas is Asiyah, Psuki de Zimra is Yitzira, and then Kriya Shema is the world of Bria, and then I'm sorry, Bria and then Yitzira, and then Shmonas Bria, and Shemona Esrei is the world of Atzilus. Oimid Lifnei Hashem. So Oimid Lifnei Hashem. So everything's Baruch Atah Hashem without Elokeinu Melech Elam. So kabbalistically, it's always good saying why that is. According to the Rashba, you could say even more poshut that it's all about the Shemona Esrei is all about our intimacy. Rafa'inu, Achlanu. It's all about our intimacy with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But I'm just bringing out to you Yediyah Ba'alma that it's a machlekes between the Kabbalah and the Rashba. I mean, Akatza Lakatza. But what's negaya to us, what he's saying here is that however you want to learn it, going this way or going that way, there's clearly two dinim. There's what we do get and what we don't get. That's for sure. The only shiloh is which direction we're going in the bracha. But there's clearly two dinim, whether you learn it like the Rashi or the Mekubalan. And Reb Chaim Volozhin is explaining that these are the two dinim that we're talking about. There's the Atzmusa Yisbarach, which we have nothing connection with, and we don't have a hasag in it, and it's not within us. And then there's what we can be masig, which is what he's calling the Hischabris El Elamais. That means that a missile just hit it. Eshkol, Ezorit Eshkol. So everyone should have a refuge line. Okay.
Rabbi?
Yeah.
But just to go back to Shavi said, when I make a comment,
What do you want to do?
I would suggest.
The pearl.